For our next speaker this evening, Yongho, Advertising Manager at Mind Valley. He's pumped up.
First of all, even before Wuhan gives the slides, I hope you are present. I feel like I am more excited than all of the other speakers combined because I am crazy about the exciting cutting-edge frontier of virtual reality, and it is fucking mind-blowing. I'm not gonna do any filters for this talk. I'm gonna tell you, okay, so this is the title of my talk. 30 seconds after near vomiting from nausea after riding a virtual roller coaster on the Oculus Rift, I realized the future of virtual reality, which is simulated realities that is not distinguishable from the real world. So I want to explain to you. So I bought a personal Oculus Rift just because it's cool, it's a virtual reality, I want to see what it's about. I tried it out. I want to explain to you the story of what I experienced and why I am completely fucking sold on virtual reality, okay? So for my day job, I do a lot of analysis. Actually, probably Daniel is the person who will resonate most about this, the speaker. I do a lot of data analysis about the advertising that we do in Mind Valley, investments, revenues, ROI, calculations, all that stuff. Anyway, ROI. So one day I was like, you know what? Virtual reality is fucking cool. So I ordered an Oculus Rift. I went to oculus.com. I said, yeah, I want to order one. Got it. I waited for the day that this box arrived in front of me. The Oculus Rift Development Kit 2. So it was on my desk and I was like, oh, I'm fucking excited for this. Okay. And then the first app that I tried was a roller coaster app, okay? I want to walk you through what I experienced. So, okay, to give you some context, right? I was sitting, so I work in Mind Valley. I was sitting on the 23A office floor on my desk. I put the Oculus Rift on, I put the camera on in front of me, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Okay, virtual reality, sure. Okay, roller coaster, okay, I'll try it on. I put it on. And I go through this thing, right? I go through this app and it's like walking me through like an entire roller coaster experience, the spins, the twists and everything. And less than 15 seconds in, I realized something that blew my mind. I felt nauseous. My physical body felt the sensations of like, oh, it feels a little strange. And then so like, I was going through this whole roller coaster. It was like doing spins and twists and all these things. And I was like, oh, actually it was so bad. Even before the app finished, I had to take the Oculus Rift off of my head and then just let it go. And then I was just sitting at my desk and I was wondering like, what the fuck is going on? And then this phrase from the Matrix came to my mind, which was, you know what Morpheus said in the Matrix? Which was, what is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can hear, what you can smell, taste, and feel, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. What I experienced with the Oculus Rift is, okay, so in reality, I was just sitting on the 23A floor with some fucking mechanical gizmo on my head that was giving me some visual input, but it was so immersive to my brain and to my body that I felt the physical sensations of nausea, of motion sickness, while I was on the app in less than 15 seconds. And then that's when I realized this is something fucking groundbreaking. This is something groundbreaking, and which is not a surprise. Have you seen this? Raise your hand if you've seen the YouTube videos of the Oculus Rift pranks. Okay, only a few people. Okay, that's like less than 5% of people. So I will explain very briefly. There are people who do pranks and have recorded on YouTube. This is what they do. They go to random people in like shopping malls or whatever. They give them an Oculus Rift and say, hey, just try this roller coaster app. Put it on. And they say, okay, that's cool. Okay, they put it on. Now, what they don't tell them is that while in the middle of the roller coaster, they knock them off balance. So like literally, like if I give you the Oculus Rift, I put it on your head, and then so like, oh, okay, guys, you're having fun for 15 seconds, I knock you off balance, and you fall, right? And you will see the reactions on YouTube. They completely lose their sense of reality, because what is happening is that their brain is telling them, every visual input is telling them, you are in a roller coaster right now and you just got knocked off of balance, and therefore when your knees are buckling, you are falling off a roller coaster right now, so you have to brace for your life. And you will, no, that's not even an exaggeration. If you go on YouTube and you go for Oculus Rift roller coaster reactions, you will see it multiple. It's not even one, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, series after series after series. This is a very, very common reaction. And so, what I realized when I tried the Oculus Rift roller coaster app is, oh my God, we have reached the technology. So you've watched The Matrix, right? There is a scene where there's the architect. You know, he's the guy who created the whole virtual world. He's the guy who created the laws of physics, the laws of chemistry, the laws of everything. And now the distinction is you have the ability to become that person in a very real sense. And this is what I mean. Click, click, click. So, if you want to, these are some of the apps that are available right now on the Oculus Rift. You wanna, so you're sitting in your office right now, you just put the Oculus Rift on your head, you wanna suddenly go into outer space, you wanna go travel and see Earth and Mars and all of the other planets in the solar system, and you wanna go explore the galaxy and all of the other planets in the universe. Okay, you can do that right now using the Oculus Rift. You want to, okay, and instantly, in a split second, you want to go see a Paul McCartney concert. Sitting right next to him on the piano, you can do that right now. If you want to suddenly, okay, after that, you want to go skydiving. Okay, you want to play a game. You want to, okay, maximize your points. You got to go, you get the 750 points right there, and then get the 1,000 points right after it. You know, you can do that right now. And you know, fuck this shit. I want to chill out for a second. I want to just chill out. I want to enjoy the scenery. I want to enjoy nature. You can do that too. And then, you know what? Maybe I want to go back in time. I want to see dinosaurs. Well, there's an app for that also. By the way, these are all real screenshots from actual apps on the Oculus Rift available right now. Or maybe, instead of being in your favorite TV reality show, you want to actually be a character in the show. You don't want to just want to watch. You want to be actually a character in the show. Well, you can do that right now, right? And so, what is actually happening is that in virtual reality, you have so much freedom, so much freedom. You can create any world that you want. And actually, so much that the team at Oculus Rift created a document called Oculus Best Practices Guide. And I want to translate to you, in English language what this means. It's basically like a humongous, like 20-page document that's essentially saying, please keep these in mind when you create your own laws of physics. Because when you're living in the real world, okay, so like right now, right? You are bound by the laws of physics. If I throw this remote control in the air, it's gonna fall to the ground. If I, and there's so many laws that are present in these laws of physics right now, but in the world of software, no laws exist. The only laws that exist is the laws that you create. And so Oculus created these documents and these guidelines to make sure, please don't fuck with people's perception of reality so that they don't get supremely disoriented. So for example, page 4, section 2, movement speed. I've actually read through the entire document. They said, teleporting between 2 points instead of walking between them is worth experimenting with in some cases, but can also be disorienting. If using teleportation, provide adequate visual cues so users can maintain their bearings and preserve their original orientation if possible. Literally, Oculus Rift is providing documents because software developers who are building on their SDK has so much freedom to build whatever world that they want, that they have to, like help them, like, please don't create a world that's so bizarre from what people's perceptions of reality are right now, because then it'll be a little too strange and they can't really relate with it. Like that is literally, you have so much power with virtual reality that Oculus Rift, the team at Oculus Rift is telling you, like, please make it at least relatable to real reality now, right? And for me, actually, I'm crazy into virtual reality. I am crazy into, like, how can we make this even more immersive? And as scary as this sounds, I how can we make this technology even so much more immersive that you can no longer distinguish between virtual reality and actual reality, right? You know, like kind of in the Matrix, like you're completely plugged in, you have no fucking idea. And for me, that direction is motion capture. So, for example, I brought my personal Oculus Rift and Google Cardboard, which I'm happy to show you guys. And you know, there are demos set up here, here, and over there, which is great for an immersive visual experience. So if you want to visually experience virtual reality, a different world, like right now we're in the Hall of Awesomeness, right? And then you suddenly want to be in outer space. You know, you can do that if you just wear that headset on your head. But you know what will make you, you know what will be so immersive that you can no longer distinguish between actual reality and virtual reality? When actually you move your hands and your arms around, and that is actually part of the world that you see, right? And so there's actually a lot of promising technologies that are happening right now. For example, Leap Motion, that's probably gotten the most press in Silicon Valley. You know, they got something with Oculus. So basically, you put this little gizmo. Actually, I think one of the speakers, yeah, he put it on the Oculus. So you just attach this little thing, and then whenever you move your hands around, now that is actually the hands that are moving around in the virtual world, right? Very cool, very cool. Microsoft is making their own version, which is a camera-based system. So Microsoft Kinect, basically you have a camera, kind of like, imagine a camera like right here, and as long as you stand in front of it, it can recognize the skeleton of your human body, and therefore if you move around, then, okay, so it knows you're moving your hand in the air, or down here, or so on. And therefore, in this specific example, you can move a virtual Iron Man on stage, right? Which is a very simplistic example of what you can do with camera-based motion capture VR. And then of course, this is probably the one that got the most attention when Oculus Rift first came out, which is probably the most immersive. So raise your hand if you're into first-person shooters. First-person, yeah, Call of Duty, all of those games. So if you can guess what this machine does, right? You wear the Oculus Rift on your head, so you know, as you're looking around, you got the whole gun moving on. But plus, as you're actually moving your legs, as you're like walking around, actually the game recognizes that too. So as far as you're concerned, because you're plugged into the Oculus and you're not in real life, you're just walking around, you got the Oculus Rift on your head, and you are fully in the world. You're walking around, running around, crouching, jumping, and so on. And that is the actual stimulus and input that goes into the game. And so you're fully immersed in it, and at least the whole time you're on it, you have no idea that you're actually in a game versus, oh, actually I was just in my living room and I was just in the middle of some circular treadmill just, you know, doing this, right? And right now, 2015, the reason why I said I think perhaps even the speakers are not as excited as I am about virtual reality is that, yeah, right now virtual reality, Oculus Rift, I've tried it so many times, you know? And as immersive as it is, because I've tried it so many times, yeah, there's some flaws with it. There's some color calibrations you gotta sort through, so on, so on, so on, so on. But it's just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time before it becomes so immersive that you cannot distinguish between that and actual reality, because your eyes have a limit. I mean, Apple demonstrated this with the iPhone. The Retina display, there is a limit to how much information that your eyes can understand and input, and as soon as the Oculus Rift reaches that limit, you will no longer be able to distinguish between real reality and virtual reality. And that is why, personally, as enthusiastic, as much as I love virtual reality, my personal direction, my personal contribution to virtual reality is sensor motion capture. So this is, I mean, it's downstairs, you can't really demo it today, but it is a sensor that you attach on your forearm, and the first step that I've developed is it teaches you kickboxing based on the real-time motion of your wrist in space. So for example, if you are, you know, let's say you're within Bluetooth range of your phone, and it says, hey, give me a right hook. Okay, so you do it, right? And because you're wearing the device on your wrist, and also it knows how exactly millisecond by millisecond it moved your wrist in space. It knows, did you move it properly? Did you actually follow the proper movement? Or towards the end, you gotta go in a little bit more. You didn't quite do it right. So it becomes a virtual coach for learning any physical motion in space. Right now it's kickboxing, but you could extend it to any physical exercise. Latin dancing, anything that you put on your ankles instead of your wrists, so on. Right? So that is what I see as the future of virtual reality. And this, it's a lot of technical details. I will go into detail only if you're a developer and you've already developed something using sensors or accelerometers or gyroscopes, because so basically this is, if you want to develop any application in virtual reality, a humongous portion of your work is going to involve learning how to use accelerometers and learning how to use gyroscopes. Basically, like, these are the actual things that you put in your hand or your wrist, so that when you move like this, your software can actually detect, oh, you actually moved 90 degrees this way, or so on. And it's actually quite more complicated than it sounds. So if you are a developer and you understand the technical insights involved in doing this, I'm happy to share with you, because I went through a whole bunch of fucking shit just to be able to, for example, when you move your wrist from here to here, to get within a pretty decent accuracy of how much you actually moved, which is, even if you go on stackoverflow.com, which is considered the forum for programmers, even the lead developer at Google says, forget about it. Don't try it. It's too hard. It's impossible. No, I'm going to show you. Okay, for example, I don't know how many people in the audience are actually into sensors, but for this specific case, if you use dead reckoning plus averaging multiple readings plus establishing a reset position plus double integrating the accelerometer data, you can actually get the actual distance that you moved in space. Okay, probably for 99% of the audience, that was nonsense. But anyway, if you're involved in the technical aspects of working with sensors or accelerometers and gyroscopes, I will happily contribute, give you best practices, tell you, hey, this is gonna come up, and basically help you out. So, to summarize, Morpheus in the Matrix said, what is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can hear, what you can smell, taste, and feel, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. And this, even when the Matrix came in 1999, I guess something around that, it was like a cute phrase, oh, okay, science fiction, blah, blah, blah. But now, with Oculus Rift and virtual reality, you basically have the permission and the ability to plug in this hardware that just goes directly into someone's eyes, and therefore it completely messes with their perception of reality. As you can sense by the reaction that people have when they go on roller coaster apps, that I personally had when I went on some of the virtual reality apps, and probably if it's your first time experiencing today, actually the most common problem with virtual reality right now is virtual reality nausea. And actually so I'll give you a little bit of insight, right? So why does virtual reality nausea exist? AKA, why do people feel like vomiting after their first time wearing the Oculus Rift, right? And actually, it's extremely fascinating. It is reverse motion sickness, right? So motion sickness happens when you're inside a car. For example, that's the most common case, right? You're inside a car, and visually, your eyes are telling you, oh, you're not moving. You're not moving. You're just inside a stationary car. But there are actually sensors in your body, specifically behind your ear and other places, that are telling you, no, man, you're actually accelerating through space. You're actually moving. You're not staying still. And so the body gets this conflicting information like, okay. So your eyes are telling you you're staying still, but then your other senses are telling you, no, you're actually moving in space. The result is you actually feel this nauseous, strange anxiety feeling. So what actually happens with the Oculus Rift is the reverse of it. What happens when you're wearing the Oculus Rift is visually, for example, when you're on the roller coaster app, like I was in the first slide, right? I'm sitting in my chair in the office. I got the Oculus Rift on my head. And so, like, visually, my brain is telling me, yeah, you're going through the roller coaster, yeah, you know, looking around, there's air around you, okay, you know, it's great. But then the other sensors on my body are telling me, hold on a second, you're not actually in a roller coaster, you're staying fucking still, you're not moving at all. And so the brain ends up basically saying like, okay, hold on, what the fuck is going on? Why are some of my sensors telling me that I'm staying still, but visually I'm getting input of you're moving on a roller coaster? Hence the result of nausea, which is the most common problem in virtual reality now, which, I mean, I don't know how Oculus Rift is going to solve it, but I will gladly contribute in however they're going to solve it. Anyway, so virtual reality has evolved to the point where it is so immersive, it is so visceral, that you actually get physical sensations from the world that it is simulating, which is unprecedented. Like, Wuhan, could you imagine? I mean, there's a difference between you're seeing a picture of you like being in the park versus, oh, you're actually in a park and you're in a roller coaster and you're like, oh, you feel kind of sick. It is a completely different immersive experience. And with virtual reality, you have the ability and the power to send people to outer space using a virtual chair. You have the power to help people experience skydiving and actually have fun while doing it. You have the power of allowing people to experience dinosaurs, or why not put them in the middle of a Paul McCartney's concert. Whatever your imagination is, you have the ability to do that. And that is why virtual reality, I'm telling you, it's so exciting for me. I think perhaps even more exciting than even the speakers realize. I mean, did I say before, like, imagine you had the ability to stand in the audience before someone was presenting about some futuristic technology, before the invention of the telephone, before the invention of the text machine, before the invention of Twitter. Imagine you had the privilege of, like, Mark Zuckerberg was standing right here, and he was saying, you know, in 5 years I'm going to create this service called Facebook, and everyone's going to use it. You know, and it's so tempting to say, yeah, okay, well, great dreams, okay, whatever. But that, like, there are so many overwhelming forces going for virtual reality right now that's becoming reality. So what I invite you to do is, I brought along my personal Google Cardboard, my personal Oculus Rift. Try virtual reality for yourself, experience what it's like, and then you will see how immersive it is. Thank you.
Give it up for Yongho, VR enthusiast.